Alrighty, we are live. Live for the first time on this channel. And so, yep, hey everybody, it's Nate the Lighting Guy. And today, I just wanted to start up this live stream here just to, have a little fun, see if anybody wants to hang out. I'm going to be making some fixture profiles. Well, that was just one fixture profile for the Martin Roboscan Pro 518. So I've already entered in some of the functions, dimmer control, and colors as well. A couple things that I've noticed, at least with some recent versions of QLC Plus, is that they have some different modes and aliases that you can add for the fixture definitions, which is pretty handy in itself. I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the user manual here, so I have that in sight. And then on the bottom right corner of the screen, I have a webcam showing one of the Martin Roboscan Pros. Now, the thing about the webcam is that it's real. It does not show off the true colors well enough. The preset I have it on right now is according to the channel thing, is primary red and flame red split. So that is, and then where I'm at right now is currently at the setting of that. So let's move forward. (32 or 35) flame red. Alrighty. One of the things too that I would like to see in some of the product manuals that I don't see very often is, well, actually I don't think I've ever seen them at all, is having the actual color value of the color on the color wheel that you're using. Now, I mean, if it was CMY or those color mixing solutions, it might be a bit different. I think you could probably figure that out pretty easily because you're just adjusting those values. But the color wheel, it's a little different. So I'm gonna go back to editing. Oop, let me switch the view. Here we go. just realized it wasn't showing my editor here, so let's add a window capture. There we go. There, now you can see my cursor and everything. Perfect. Yeah. So one of the introductions to that had me a little bit confused when I was first trying out the fixture. The newer version on the fixture definition editor is this preset section here. Now it makes a lot of sense for some of the more common ones like master dimmer, some of the colors you might want to select, pan, tilt, a couple of other things. Just nice and easy ways to do it, because once you have this set, then it pretty much populates whatever you need to hear already. But since this Roboscan here not everything is necessarily linear when it comes to values and things like that, I've left the preset at custom, and I'll set the type here, which is really important, and then go here and add the colors as well. So right now we're at flame red, which is value 32 to 35, and then the next one, here we go, 5. And then now we're at, let's see here, flame red, dark orange split. Let's go back to the editor. One of the things that tripped me up here as well is I was doing this, I'm like, wait, where can I enter in the color? Turns out in this preset section below here, you have to go down and select, scroll down here and select color macro. And if it's a split color, then it's a color double macro that will let you select 2 colors. The easy way I like to get here is I'll just click it and go and just start typing color, and then select the one I want for that. But since this is a split, we'll do double. What I like to do is go back to the previous one. I'll go ahead and copy the HTML value for the color, and then go ahead and slam it in the first color section right there. For color 2, I'll go ahead and take a look at the secondary color, which, I mean, obviously isn't showing up really well. And then add that in here below. Here, let me scoot that over just a little bit. Just darken that just a little bit. Actually, yeah, there we go. That's more like it. And then the fact that you can just tab through these two is a huge upgrade, so kudos to the QLC Plus team for that. So 40 to 43. And 40 full on dark orange. So put that in correctly? 44 to 47? 44. Orange split. That's a very yellow looking orange. Actually, let's compare that to the next one. The next split color, just out of curiosity. It's like a neon yellow. It's bright orange. Dark orange, orange split. Looks about right. Let's get that back in frame. I have to say it is a very rich yellow. But now comparing that side to side with the orange one, it's throwing me off a little bit. Just a little bit. light green as compared to fern green. Okay. Light green. Yeah, it's definitely more in. It's more of your pure green, in a sense. I think it's more along the lines of, it's a nice bright green. Light green. Yeah, it's hard to see, but this is actually what it looks like. 79. Turquoise. No. It's that greenish blue color, but a little bit darker. That's about what it looks like. Yep, I'd say that's a match. A funny thing is that does look a lot like cyan, so we'll see what cyan looks like when we get to I would say that matches it perfectly. Actually, yeah, okay. Light blue being a slightly darker color than that other one. Although I must say it is throwing me off a little bit of how similar these colors are. I think that's about right. 96 to 99. Alright. Seems like the live stream isn't showing up on my channel for some strange reason. I'm wondering if I'm streaming to the wrong place. That should be the right place. Okay, apparently the stream isn't showing up on my... Oh, that's why. Why is it that way? Set that to public. Well, sorry for the delay. Turns out I had the I had the stream set to private. Yeah, no, we want to make this public. It's very lonely doing a live stream by myself. Let's see if I can reload this. Light blue and dark lavender. Oh wait, and then we have dark blue. Probably about there. That looks about right. So we're going from light blue to dark lavender. Wait. 101. Dark lavender to dark blue split. Which is kind of hard to see in the camera, but the dark blue looks like it has just a touch of red in it as well, giving it that more violet look. As a matter of fact, the very next color on this wheel is the ultraviolet pass-through, or just pass, that is. We'll start with deep blue and just nudge it ever so slightly to the red side. Every once in a while, the copy and paste does not work. And I don't know why. There we go. UV pass is an interesting one, to say the least. And with this one, so the UV pass-through is, looking at my screen here, it's a lot darker than what it looks like from the camera perspective. And then that weird little white line that's going across from it, that's actually because that piece of glass, I think, is what it is. Or that, yeah, that color is actually broken, like split in half. That's why there's little beads of white light kind of shining through that area up in there, is just because it is, yeah, that color is, for lack of a better term, broken. So I'm trying to find a good visual color that would represent that. Let's see what we can do here. I'm just gonna go. We're gonna go purple and then make it really dark. And that's about what it looks like. You know, I wonder if it'll actually make anything glow. So if I hold up this piece of envelope to it, it does a little bit, actually. Let me put up a material that doesn't fluoresce. So this block of wood doesn't fluoresce, but yeah. So you do get a little bit of actual UV light. I mean, I assume it would produce a little bit of it, but I wasn't sure how much. Now if I had some materials or some blacklight paint or something like that to try this out with, might prove to be a bit more effective than just paper. But moving on. 4 to 127. So the Roboscan Pro 518, this one is a unique color selection, because right after the UV pass-through we get the very beginning, and I know it's kind of hard to see, of the multicolor color selection. Or if I just put it all up there and hopefully the camera will focus. Let me see if I can fix that. Oh, that's better, but I think that gets the point across. So there's not really a way to put in 4 colors at once. I think the best thing I'm going to have to do here is, well, in this instance, I'll go ahead and enter in the 2 colors for the beginning of the multicolor split. And then I'll probably just pick 2 colors, for 2 of the most defining colors from one of the 2, because there's 2 of these multicolor splits in here. Pick one of those and then move forward from there. So we'll do purple, or more like a lighter purple. I'm going to progress this forward a little bit. It's kind of interesting. You can actually see a little bit of, well, you're not going to be able to see it. But at least when it was on the side of the UV area, there's a little bit of light disturbance going on where I think, I don't know, it might just be, it looks like just maybe like, could be a little bit of dust or something like that in there, but you know how you're looking down the road and then the heat from the sun when it shines, it kind of like, not necessarily a mirage, but it just kind of like looks like it warps the light just a little bit. I was seeing that on the side when the UV pass filter was on there, and I mean, it might sound crazy when I'm saying this, but I'm actually kind of wondering if the UV pass through has to take in so much of the visible light from the lamp that it ends up getting so hot, and in turn that's probably how it cracked from its usage. I mean, another theory I have on that is the way to turn the lamp off on this fixture as well is you have to set the color temperature on that to a warmer setting, set the color wheel to UV pass, and then set the first channel, the function one, down to the lamp off. And when those three DMX values are set exactly the way they're supposed to be with in those parameters, then it will tell the fixture to turn the lamp off. But it will only turn it off in those conditions. So I'm kind of wondering if the previous owners had it set to those settings, and the lamp actually never turned off. Maybe like they forgot to set one of the channels or something like that, and just it was left like that, or if that was just purely off of usage for heat, or the heat collected by using it so much. I really don't know, honestly. I'm kind of just speculating at this point. But all right, let's move on. So I'm going to go back and forth between the two here and kind of figure out how I want these to look. Or you know what? I might actually just consider leaving those presets without a set color. If anything, I'd say the first multicolor one is a little darker, while the second one is a little more brighter. might just leave those as is, honestly. Hold on. I think color wheel index is the right preset for it. I think. And now for the rotation parameters. Fast to slow. I'm not exactly sure what the presets are going to do in this instance. I know there's going to be some changes. There probably will be a couple changes when QLC plus 5 comes out and becomes stable, which I'm pretty excited for QLC 5. I actually downloaded it on this computer and gave it a shot just to see what some of the features could do. I was even considering taking the, even if it's not recommended for production use right now, I was thinking about utilizing both QLC plus 4, the latest stable version, writing all my programs on there, and then having QLC 5 running and using just the visualizer, like piping the outputs from, assigning an output on QLC plus 4 to go to QLC plus 5, so I could use the visualizer on that and use that to kind of visualize my show while keeping all the programs in QLC plus 4 until QLC plus 5 becomes stable and is production ready. So we'll see. I've tried a little bit of that. I was having some issues. I mean, of course, it's still in beta, but that's to be expected. So once I finish this profile, we'll go ahead and import this version in to QLC Plus and make sure that all the colors are correct. Oh, I already missed one right here. Copy that. There we go. Alright, and that does it for the color channel. Always, always, always save your work. Move on to the rotating gobo wheel. Let me see if I have the... Check to see if I have... the software I need to make this happen. Inkscape. Alright. Excuse me for just a moment, I'm go ahead and download Inkscape. I mean, I could just do it on the other computer that I have set up on here. The computer I'm streaming from is the one that I usually write all my lighting programs on, which is a laptop. And then I have a desktop that I use for doing a lot of the other work at my desk, just because it's more comfortable. Almost got it. Alright, I think I got it now. The lamp on my fixture is a little bit flickering right now, which is a tad concerning, but I mean, at this point I pretty much got all the colors, so not sure if I'm going to need to keep it on there. Let's go back to there we go, hold up. There we go. So these are the gobo designs for this particular unit, the ones that the factory comes with. So I'm going to just go ahead and make some quick modifications and export these as PNGs or some other, or whatever the format's needed to import these into the profile, so we'll be able to see just exactly what gobo we've selected. And I also have a sheet drawn out of all the gobos as well, and kind of just where they're at. So here we go. Fill. There we go. I don't know why. Let's fill it in like that. Stroke style. At this point, I think I'd say that's good enough. Just go boom. 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 And boom. Not going to bother with this last one. This was actually a custom gobo that I made that I was looking to potentially get made, because the Roboscan does not have a rotating prism. So what I wanted to do was create the illusion of the rotating prism of the 3-facet prism that's in this unit by taking so having 3 circles. That would again be multiplied with 3 more circles when the prism was applied, and when you activate the rotating gobo, kind of gives that illusion that gives a little bit of an illusion that it's rotating, even when it's actually not so. Okay. I'd say this looks pretty good. If you're wondering what these little notches are all around the gobo, on the original gobos they do have these notches because they're more or less they're not friction fit, but they're secured by screws, so they kind of come in and then they like rotate into place. So you pop it in right here, that's where the screw head is, and then when you turn it, it comes into here where the screw then is, or where the gobo sits under the screw, and then screwing that down. And I'll more than likely include a video of that into my final video when I do the finishing up the Roboscan restoration. So now I'm going to go ahead and just export these as images. Export selected only. We'll just do going to hold off on this for a quick second. Okay. Export this. There we go. Whoa, what just happened? There we go. So next up, after the color wheel, we'll be adding our, after the color wheel, the gobo wheel. Just to kind of show you what it would look like if I just selected gobo wheel, is it would basically put a default of 0 to 255 gobo wheel presets in the description. And I mean, that pretty much does label the channel, but I think I'd want a few more details in there, at least knowing what gobos in the rotation and things like that. So we're going to go ahead, start off with 0 and 0, open. 1 to 24 will be gobo 1 with counterclockwise rotation, fast, actually lowercase, fast to slow. And with all these, we're going to add a gobo macro to this. And let me see where this is going to select an image from. So these are all my exports. I'm going to go ahead and rename them to be, let's see here, class RoboGobo1, and keep the same naming scheme for the rest of them. Wait. That's not it. One, two, three. This one's 4. Perfect. So if I go here, I can go ahead and select those, and those should just come right into play. Perfect. But actually, that's not the right one. This one's supposed to be open. So let me go find a generic open gobo. Actually, I don't think we even need to state one, in all honesty. should do it for the gobo wheel. Hit save on that. Now for the effects wheel. This is kind of a fun one because it combines a couple of unique features about the Pro 518 version of the Roboscans, and some of those things include a 5500 to 3400 K CTC filter, a frost filter, and a 3-facet prism. Not rotating, unfortunately, but that's perfectly alright. So we'll begin with the first value, 63, just open, for 127. So we got a preset for this. Generic picture, like so. I'll just leave it as that. And then we'll do it for the effects wheel. Now, in the terms of using pan and tilt and their fine controls as well, this is where preset comes in really handy, because boom, it's just that. Actually, we'll do pan fine next. We have some speed parameters next, so we'll go with I think we'll go with the custom preset this time, but I'll check. So there is a preset for pan and tilt speed, which is similar to what the which is basically the same name for what the that functionality is in the manual. But there's some extra details I think would be important to include, because it's not just fast, slow kind of a thing. Let's start at the beginning. Can I just remove this? There we go. So 0 and 0, we're in tracking mode. 1 to 251. And last, we have one more speed setting here. This controls color speed and dimmer speed. Now this is interesting because for channel 9, at least in the mode 2, it can either be color speed or dimmer speed. Let me just double check, because that would make me assume that there is an alias here for, there might be an alias or some other channel that would affect that one. Let me see here. You know, to tell you the truth, I'm not really sure. Not really sure. I'll just save that as is for now. For the aliases, I think I probably got to add them to modes first. So now that we have all the, assumingly all the possible channels, again, we didn't question that last one, we'll go ahead and start adding all the channels. I'm not editing it. There we go. That's what we want to do. Round 2. Do a quick double check, make sure I have everything assigned as it should be. So the first 6 channels are all the same on all of them. Functions, dimmer, color, robo wheel, effects wheel, and pan. Alright, that looks right. Let's save that. I have to learn a little bit more about how aliases work, but I think that should do. For everything here. I'll take a quick look at the manual and see what dimmer speed even is really about. Honestly, I don't think I could tell you. Okay. Well, that pretty much finishes the profile initially. I'm going to go ahead and erase this fixture, and then we'll go ahead and see what we can do to make that show up a bit better. So this Roboscan 518 that I was using initially to show up the to give myself kind of a baseline is the profile that came with QLC Plus already, but the one that came with QLC Plus does not have the color presets or the gobo presets. I'm pretty sure it was made with an older version of QLC Plus and it was transferred onto the new ones. But that's the thing about open source projects as well. that I really love is that you can go ahead and if you find something that could use some improvement, or you just find issues or bugs or things like that, you can go ahead and make that happen, which I hugely appreciate. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of just blank everything out here for just a moment. I'm going to go ahead and delete that and add the new one. Oh wait, yeah. Hold on just a second. I realized you can't see anything. There we go. Perfect. The mode 2. And then here, hold on a second. There we go. So we got the new one added. I have it set to mode 2, which is exactly what we need it to be. And why do you not show up? Oh wait. Universe 1, address 1. Yeah, that's right. Oh, I probably need to restart the program. Alright. Give me a quick moment here. Makes perfect sense, though. After creating a new fixture profile, having to restart the application so it can reload its fixture definitions, it makes perfect sense. Alright, we're back. Now it should show up. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Let me bring the mirror back into view. Now let's verify that the colors that were added match the color profile. Those look amazing, and the font on my screen doesn't. Yep. That looks good. Good. we got the rotation. Nice. If I go ahead and set these to 1 on both of them, the colors should jump to each other a little quicker when selecting them. Which is why I particularly chose mode 2 for the Roboscan. And then for the gobos, now unfortunately can't really pick the gobos right now because there's no gobos installed in this unit. As a matter of fact, there's hardly any gobos installed in any of the units. I'm still trying to get the gobos sourced for these units. That's the last step in the restoration of them. And while I do think I have a lead on one, we'll see how that goes. But I think I'm going to be wrapping up this live stream here for creating this lovely little fixture profile as kind of a modern update for the newer version, QLC Plus version 4.13, I believe, is what I have here. And so, yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up this live stream for this. So, if you're watching later on, after the stream was finished, then no problem whatsoever. I'm likely, if I'm going to make this into like an actual video of how to make a fixture profile, I would do a separate video of that, not necessarily on a live stream. But yeah, I think this was fun, and if you see this later on and are interested in, or if you'd like me to do more live streams kind of like this thing, just more or less showing the process and before things have been finally and cleanly edited, then let me know in the comments below. I was gonna say, if you have any questions, feel free to ask below for the fixture definition editor. Although I'm pretty sure there's some more other people who know a little bit more about the editor than I do, and of course the QLC Plus forums are a great place to look for help with that. And so, yeah. Until next time, I'm Nate the Lighting Guy, and thanks for watching. Don't have the outro with me, but let me see if I can just display my logo. There we go.